Hey, what's going on, guys? Coach Jacob here, and I'm bringing you guys the 6th video out of 6 in our series covering the 6 foundational principles of holistic health. Just as a reminder, those 6 foundational principles are eating, drinking, sleeping as our more yin or anabolic forces in nature, and then thinking, breathing, and moving as our more yang or catabolic forces in nature, right? Balancing those 6 forces, balancing those anabolic and those catabolic forces, that yin and that yang, bringing that all in balance and together is what really creates holistic health for us and vitality, right? So today, last one, we are covering drinking, right? And we're drinking water, of course, right? So I wanted to cover a few things about water. Water is, obviously critically important to our bodies and to us. You could survive 30 days, even more people have without food, right? But you won't make it more than a few days without drinking water, right? So water is used in almost every bodily function, almost every chemical reaction in your body. So staying properly hydrated and drinking the right kind of water is super important for keeping you healthy and vital. So I know I've talked about caffeine a little bit in previous videos. I wanted to talk about caffeine and kind of how it relates to hydration today. We're going to talk about tap water and why you shouldn't, filtered water, pros and cons, and then I'm going to kind of give you a prescription for how to keep yourself hydrated, what kind of water you should be drinking, and things like that, all right? So let's go ahead and jump into caffeine. Caffeine, if you're going to drink caffeine, you should be drinking coffee or tea, right? Trying to avoid things like a Red Bull, stimulating drinks that, have caffeine that was put in them, right? Ideally, if you're drinking caffeine, you're drinking it from a natural source like coffee beans or tea leaves. Coffee and tea have natural antioxidants and polyphenols in the plants, which are quite beneficial to your body, honestly. They're very healthy. They could be anti-cancerous. There's multiple studies that show people that drink coffee and smoke cigarettes actually have less health issues than people who just smoke cigarettes, right? And that's probably due to the antioxidants in the coffee. So coffee and tea can be beneficial and protective to your body, but we need to moderate, right? Healthy, when moderated, we need to moderate the amounts, simply because caffeine is a diuretic, right? What does that mean? Caffeine dehydrates the body, right? Caffeine pulls water from the body, causes you to pee a little bit more, and when we drink too much caffeine, we tend to get dehydrated because, number one, if you're drinking coffee or tea, you're probably not drinking water at that moment, right? The more coffee or tea you're drinking, the less water you're drinking, because you can only drink so many liquids, right? And then when we get dehydrated, it causes things like headaches, fatigue, lethargy, and then even constipation, right? So if you ever deal with daily headaches or chronic fatigue or chronic constipation, one thing to look at is, are you drinking enough water, right? And then long-term dehydration, we know, is very damaging to the kidneys, can cause kidney stones and kidney failure, things like that later in life. So long-term dehydration is just as dangerous as acute dehydration. So limiting and moderating the amount of coffee and tea you're drinking over your lifetime is very important, and throughout your day, right? Just making sure that you're getting plenty more water than you are coffee or tea, and really important to start your morning with a big glass of water instead of going right for that cup of coffee. So when you go to grab that glass of water in the morning, right, it's easy to just turn on the tap, fill up a glass of water, and put it down, right? So why do we not want to drink tap water? Tap water is a big issue, and many people don't know that there is an issue with drinking tap water, but there is. Now, tap water is filtered and recycled water, and honestly, if you don't have any other water to drink, obviously you're going to want to drink some tap water, but we're lucky here to have kind of the option, right? We can use our tap water for cleaning, things like that, but we do want to avoid drinking it just because it is filtered, but it doesn't get everything out. So some of the things that have been found to be in tap water include microplastics, pesticides, chlorine, hormones, and nitrates, right? Just to name a few. There's many more things that has been found in tap water. So just some of the big ones. These things are going to be super detrimental to your health, right? And it's not going to happen, obviously, in an instant. If you drink some tap water, you're not just going to fall over and die. But these things, on a micro level, are going to micro poison you over your life. So if you continuously drink tap water throughout your life, and maybe 10, 15, 20 years before you start to see some of the results of that, but knowing that if you can avoid drinking tap water now, when you're older, right, 20, 30 years from now, you're going to enjoy the benefits of being healthy and a little bit more vital, right? So the biggest one I want to touch on, just as kind of an easy thing to point out, chlorine is added to tap water, right, all tap water, to kill bacteria, right? We know that. We use chlorine in our pools to kill bacteria. They use chlorine in our tap water to kill the bacteria so it is safe to drink, right? We know that chlorine kills bacteria. So if you put the tap water in your system, what's it doing to your gut? It's killing the bacteria, right? You have millions and millions of bacteria in your gut that work for you to keep you healthy. If we're dumping chlorine in there consistently, then we're just killing off those bacteria, right? Same thing, just in general in your body, you have, a lot of the matter in your body does not actually share your DNA. A lot of the bacteria in your body don't share your DNA. They are symbiotic. You're in a symbiotic relationship with these bacteria, and they function for you to keep you healthy, right? And then they get the benefit of having an environment to live in, right? So if we kill off too many of these bacteria, then it really starts to have a negative effect on our health, right? So avoid tap water when possible. Now, filtered water is obviously a better choice, right? Filtering out a lot of the plastics, pesticides, chlorine, things like that. But there is one issue with filtered water. So filtered water, while better than tap water, is not the best. Now, it is clean and usually free from chlorine and other harmful chemicals, but it typically filters out key minerals and electrolytes, right? So the filtered water is filtered so well that it can actually filter out minerals and electrolytes, which in turn drops the pH balance of the water below 7. Now, why is this important? For your body to utilize the water and to absorb it, it has to have a certain mineral content so that the pH balance is roughly 7 or above, right? Now, many waters, I know like Smart Water and Dasani, if you test them, their pH balance is actually below 7, sometimes even below 6, right? Which just means that they're very stripped of minerals. When your body brings in water that is stripped of minerals, it has, the only option that it has is to leach minerals from tissues or bone in order to up the pH balance of the water so that your body can then absorb it, right? So short term, not a big issue. Long term can cause things like osteoporosis, right? If you're leaching minerals from your bone to absorb water consistently, then eventually you're not going to have enough minerals and electrolytes in your body to keep doing that, right? And then you'll be drinking plenty of water and wondering why you're still dehydrated, because that can happen. You can drink a lot of bottled water, filtered water, and still not get the cellular hydration, right? You may be peeing clear, but your body's not actually hydrated, and that can come from things like this, not having the correct amount of minerals in your water. So filtered water is better than tap water, but filtered water still has some of the issues, right? Some of its problems. So what is the best water you can drink? So for prescription, right? Here's my prescription to you when it comes to drinking water. You're going to want to drink spring water whenever possible. Now, I know that's not always feasible, right? To be buying, two or three $2 bottles of spring water every single day. So typically what I do is I buy a few of them, I'll drink the spring water out of that, and then I use a reverse osmosis filter. Reverse osmosis filter is one of the best filters on the market, right? It filters out all of these microplastics, pesticides, chlorine, and it does filter out a lot of the minerals, but then what I do is I go back and I add a small pinch of sea salt to that filtered water. So I'll drink the spring water out of the bottle, right? I usually buy, anywhere from 3 to 5 a week, new liter bottles, right? Glass, of course. But then after I drink that spring water, I'll fill it up with clean filtered water and I'll add a pinch of sea salt back to that water. And what that does is it takes the natural minerals and electrolytes from the sea salt, which is very healthy in a small pinch, right? Adds it back to the water, and that ups the pH of the water. So now that water is absorbable by my body and I'm still getting those minerals and electrolytes. So spring water when you can. If not, I keep a bag of Celtic sea salt with me, so I can add a pinch of that to my water when needed. You can get Celtic sea salt at Sprouts for like $5. It's one of the healthiest salts you can find. So that's what I do as far as the quality of water. Now, quantity, you're going to want to drink at least half of your body weight in ounces daily. Half of your body weight in ounces daily. I think that's kind of a minimum recommendation. So what I like to tell people is start with a glass of water in the morning, a big 12, 16, 20 ounce glass of water in the morning, and then have another 16 to 20 ounce glass of water before bed. But don't count those for your half your body weight in ounces. So you start with the glass of water, you finish with the glass of water, but in between there, you're drinking half your body weight in ounces daily, right? So you're probably getting more, like 2/3 your body weight, which I don't think is an issue. You have a little bit over that. And then obviously limit your caffeine intake. I don't think there's anything wrong. Like I said, coffee and tea have antioxidants and polyphenols. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a cup or two of coffee or some tea daily. It's just when you are using it to bolster your energy throughout the day, right? If you have coffee and then 2 hours later you're crashing again and you have to go back for another cup of coffee and you do that 3 or 4 times a day, there may be a bigger issue going on, right, with your sleep or with your diet. So limit the caffeine to what you can. If you're drinking multiple cups of coffee a day, just try to bring that down. And it'll be hard. It's hard to cut out caffeine, but just for the first 3 or 4 days. Once you get through those first 3 or 4 days, your body really adjusts and it's not too bad. So if you can limit your caffeine intake and up your water intake, I promise it'll have a huge effect on your health. You'll feel a little bit more vital, your body will function a little bit better, and your immune function will overall be stronger.